Hi guys, welcome back. So this knowledge area, which is project cost management, primarily deals with all the aspects of the costing and budgeting of a project. For many stakeholders, you can say this is the most important knowledge area. So for sponsors, this is the beginning and the finishing point for them. So it's very important to pay attention to how you cost a project, how you put everything in budget. So it has got four sub processes: plan cost management, estimate cost, determine budget, control cost. Again, everything is in the line with all the knowledge areas we have covered so far. So don't get confused. Remember, for all the knowledge areas, we need to plan things, we need to perform certain action to determine them, estimate them, and then control them. So this knowledge area is also in line with that. And we have four knowledge areas, sub processes within this knowledge areas: plan cost management, estimate cost, determine budget, and control cost. And it primarily include planning, estimating, budgeting, financing, funding, managing, and controlling costs. So how you are going to estimate a project, how you are going to fund it, all of that is happening here. And all the four sub processes which I mentioned, like planning, cost management, they all overlap with each other. Usually for bigger projects you will have separate processes and phases for estimation and the budgeting. But for smaller projects they can be done together, because all staff, all teams will have some kind of discretionary funding and they can use for them. But let's say if it's not there, then they can always separate them and handle these processes separately. So these are the four sub processes I was talking about: plan cost management, estimate cost, determine budget, and control cost. So this is the first sub process, which is plan cost management, and it is the process of determining how the project cost will be estimated, budgeted, managed, monitored, and controlled. So here basically you are developing a plan to address the funding, estimation, and that side, the money side of the project. And when you estimate a project, you are going to look at all kind of cost, including human resource. So let's say if it requires effort of 40 hours, you will have a billing rate, which will be the cost of per hour or per day or fixed cost resources. But there will be some form of pricing, some form of billing involved with human resources also. Because I have seen a lot of time people just look at the tools and the softwares they are going to use for estimation. But in modern project management techniques, even human resource is evaluated as cost. Whether you are using in-house resources or using some vendor, you will always have the cost. And as mentioned in the previous sections or sections before that, for human resource management in terms of costing, we will first estimate the entire work in terms of hours, then we will convert that into a dollar amount. And usually this planning happens once or at predefined points in the project. And usually as we are talking about the funding, it is happening at the initial stages of the project, very initial in fact. And this planning is really vital for the project, because at times you will have to acquire resources, hire consultants, or use some tool for a specified period of time. If you don't have a plan, and if you get those kind of requirements, you are again have to start from the scratch, create some kind of documentation, review it with your stakeholder, and propose for the funding. Whereas if you have a plan, you know how all of these elements will be addressed in the event of their requirement. So if we need a human resource, we have a plan how we are going to handle that. If we need some kind of software, because remember, for software also, most of these softwares are license based. So if you're going to add individuals to your team and you want their access, you will have to pay these software companies to get the user IDs and credentials and license. So for everything, it's very important to have this plan in advance. Now here the input will be project charter, project management plan, which will be in the form of schedule management plan, risk management plan, enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. In fact, project charter document will have a pre-approved financial data. So when you will create the project charter document, you will see that we will have to estimate our project and enter a cost. That cost is pre-approved. So that will be your input for planning the funding and the budgeting of the project. And then for tools and techniques, we have expert judgment, data analysis meetings. For output, we will have a cost management plan. And application will be same, which is cost management plan. In the next video, we will talk about the other sub processes of this knowledge area. Thank you.